I used to think becoming a doctor was my dream. But now, looking back, was it really my dream? Was it passion? Was it pressure? Or was it something deeper? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, baby. If you are a returning subscriber, then you already know the vibe. But if this is your first time to my channel, hi, my name is Kimberly. I am a fifth year medical student and I create medicine, faith, and lifestyle based content. So if that is something that you're interested in, please do join the family by clicking that subscribe button. From the time I was very young, I have always been that kid, the smart one. I remember being 5 years old and I was going to preschool. It was career day and I dressed up as a doctor. Although over the years I went from wanting to be a model, a TV presenter, a lawyer, there was even a time in my life that I wanted to be an actress. At family gatherings, people would say, "You are going to be a doctor one day." My grandfather even called me Dr. Kim way before I started this whole journey of becoming. My teachers expected it, my family talked about it. The society made it sound like this was the ultimate success story. And when you're a kid, you believe it all and you start to think, maybe this is who I'm supposed to be. In my case, I wouldn't really call it forcing because no one ever said to me, "You must do medicine." But when everyone else around you and your entire world is celebrating a particular path for you, it doesn't really feel like a choice. Somewhere along the way, I stopped asking myself, what do I really want? What am I most passionate about? Where do I see myself in the next 15 years? Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? And I started focusing on, I want to make everyone around me proud. I mean, all my years throughout primary school and high school, I worked so hard just to make my parents proud, which is not really a bad thing if you think about it. So, yes, I'm not going to lie to you. There was a point where I felt like I really was just doing this to make my parents happy. I was doing this to make them proud, and I was doing this for them and not for me. And then everything changed. And I realized that I wasn't just fighting this hard just for my parents. I wanted this with every bone in my body. This was my dream. And all it took for me to realize it was loss, grief, and heartbreak. Since I was a child, we've literally always been a family. Not always, but throughout my early years of childhood, we've always been a family of five. Just my mom, my dad, and my sisters. Obviously, my parents wanted a boy. I think we all really wanted a boy because I also wanted to have a baby brother running around. And we prayed. It took a while, and my mom finally fell pregnant with a baby boy. We were ecstatic. We were overjoyed. This was something we've always wanted. I don't really remember how old I was, but I think I was in grade 6. And I was so excited that I'm finally going to have a little brother. Until all that hope was shattered. I just remember my mom going to the hospital one day, we expecting her to coming back with a bouncing baby boy. New addition to the family. I mean, who wouldn't be excited about that? Only for her to come back days later with no little brother. And guys, I'm not even going to lie because my dad told me first before telling my little sisters that no, something happened and they won't be coming back with a baby boy. Now, I don't really remember how I felt. All I remember is I couldn't believe it. I have, if I tell you guys that I've never prayed so hard the way I prayed that day, then I'm lying. I prayed so hard. I was in denial. I couldn't believe it. And I kept on reading the Bible and praying. Mind you, I was only a kid. I kept on reading the Bible and praying. And I remember the story of Lazarus, how he was resurrected when Jesus came. And I was like, if that same Jesus could do what he did to Lazarus, then he can really do something in this situation. You know that story of childlike faith? That's the kind of faith I had. So even when I got the news that my mom was not going to be coming back with our little brother, I still prayed for a miracle to happen. I prayed, I cried, and when my parents came back, there was no brother. You can imagine how shattered the family was. And every time I think about it, I definitely become emotional because it left me with so many unanswered questions just as a child. Why did God allow this to happen? God knew how long we've been waiting for this. God knew how long my mother prayed for this. Yet He allowed him to go. What even broke my heart was when my mom told us exactly what happened. And this wasn't because he wasn't okay. This wasn't because he was sick. But this was all because of human error. You know that when a baby is born, there's an umbilical cord. It's supposed to be cut properly. And if it is not cut properly, that could really cause the baby to pass away. And in my little brother's case, that was exactly what happened. But now the staff that was responsible for the delivery, the people that are working in the labor ward, did not really tell my mom the truth. And they started making her feel like she was crazy. They started making her feel like, no, the baby didn't cry. The baby was, when there's a stillbirth, when a baby is born dead. That's what they told my mom, that the baby was born dead. And they started making my mom feel like she's crazy because she literally said that the baby cried, but they were saying that no, the baby was born dead and the baby never ever cried. And until some time later, the nurse that was responsible was trying to look for my mom to either, I don't know, to apologize or tell her the truth and opening up about the mistake that they made as the healthcare workers, which was very heartbreaking. I'm not going to lie. I think I saw how this destroyed my mom, destroyed my family, even though I saw how my dad was trying to be really strong and carry everyone through and be the man of the house. Sometimes I'll literally see my mom crying and I'll just pretend like, okay, I didn't see anything because there was really nothing I could do. And I really couldn't understand why this happened. And from that time, I literally was like, there should have been someone there. There should have been a doctor there. Why was there no doctor to make sure that a simple procedure such as cutting an umbilical cord was done properly? I don't think you ever heal from something like that because I know that deep down it still bothers her and it's still, she's still healing as a journey. She hasn't fully healed. But I thank God for a few years later, she fell pregnant again with a baby boy, and we now have a little brother. And I think that I won't call him a replacement. He definitely was not a replacement, but I feel like that was definitely a gift from God to just say, calm down, to calm my mom and just say, you know what, from me to you, here's a gift. And I think he's definitely an answered prayer. He's definitely helping my mom to heal. He's definitely helping the entire family to heal from the loss that we experienced. And for the fact that my mom literally carried him for 9 months, she feels more pain than any one of us could ever feel. Grief has a way of showing you what is really important. It has a way of showing you what really matters. Because I saw how what happened broke my mom. The helplessness, the desperation in my family's eyes, the questions that were left unanswered, all because of human error. I knew from that moment that I wanted to be the person that could make a difference in those moments. Not because someone told me to, but because it felt like a calling. And from that moment in time, every time I said, when I grow up, I wanted to be a doctor, it wasn't for anyone, but it was because I wanted to be the person who was going to make a difference. Now, I know in reality, you cannot save everyone and you cannot make a difference in everyone's lives, even if the difference is this small. I knew that I wanted to be the person to make it. Medicine isn't easy, it's painful, it's exhausting. But through every difficult moment, I realized this is where I'm supposed to be because I don't see myself doing anything else. I chose medicine because I wanted to fight for life. I want to be there when families need hope the most. The same way I expected someone to be there when my family needed hope the most. Looking back now, I realized something important. My parents, my teachers, my community, they saw something in me that I couldn't even see in myself. I've always struggled with believing that I'm smart enough, good enough, strong enough, but they saw greatness before I could even recognize it. And for that, I am so grateful to have been raised and guided towards the path that was truly mine. For those of you that are sitting and watching this right now and you're struggling with the question, am I doing this for me or for them? I want you to listen to this. Pressure can start the journey, but only passion can sustain it. And just because you've come this far without giving up, there has to be something in you that is pushing you to go forward. Find it. Find the fire. Find a reason to stay. Take the time to find your why. Why are you here? Why are you doing this? It's okay if it takes years. What matters in the end that this is your journey and it's your dream. You're chasing it and you will definitely get there. But if at the end of it all you don't find a why and you don't find a reason to stay, don't sacrifice 7 years of your life to please other people. Because you can only please people for a little while, but you might end up resenting yourself for it in the long run. Thank you for listening to my story. If this video resonated with you, share your story in the comments. I would definitely love to hear it. And please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.